Welcome to Mobility Matters, the podcast where kids take the wheel to explore how we get around our city and why it matters. We're part of the Clean Mobility Buffalo Initiative, powered by NYSERDA, working to make transportation in Buffalo cleaner, greener, and better for everybody. Each episode, we share our stories, ask big questions, and talk to the people making change, from bike lanes to buses, and from electric cars to community projects, all through our eyes as the next generation of changemakers. So buckle up or hop on your bike and join us for the ride, because when it comes to our future, mobility matters.
Welcome to Mobility Matters. I'm Vi.
I'm Marla.
And I'm Bert. Today we're talking with Harvey Mouse from Go Bike Buffalo and Simon Husted from Ready Bike Share and Share Mobility Inc. about biking, e-bikes, and easier ways to get around Buffalo.
How are you doing today?
Fabulous.
I'm doing well.
That's great.
Could you each say your name, title, and organization so listeners can get it right?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Simon Husted, and I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for Ready Bike Share.
Okay.
I'm Harvey Miles with Eastside Bike Club, and I'm the program manager.
We're gonna ask some questions about to learn more about you. In kid terms, what do you do day to day, all day?
So for day-to-day, a lot of times I'm meeting with people in the public, like classrooms or public pop-up events, demonstrating how bike share works, how it can be applied to their lives, and honestly, the life hack of biking in a city like Buffalo.
And for me, I'm facilitating programming, if it's bike education, execution of our bikes being checked out, and also our weekly rides on Saturdays.
That's great. What pulled you guys into biking and community mobility for the first time?
Well, I've been biking as a transportation. I've been biking first as recreation, no doubt. That was my first thing, just to get exercise and stuff like that. And then I got so tired of parking downtown, and I honestly felt like I still want to live in a city, but I also don't want the hassle of like congestion and parking and all these rules and stuff. And I figured, honestly, I should just try to use a smaller device to get around. And a bike honestly came in pretty hot for me. Like I was, particularly in the summer, spring, and fall, it's super easy to get around a city like Buffalo. And before then, I was living in Cleveland. And when you honestly learn how to adjust your seat posts to your correct height, biking as much as like 10, 20 miles, 30 miles a day isn't even so painful.
Yeah.
And, for me, I got back into biking. I used to like to bike when I was a kid. Got away from it as an adult. COVID gave me the opportunity to dive back into it, and I started doing it as a healthy choice. I even looked at my motorcycle and my bicycle and said, one of them has to go, so I don't have my Harley anymore. So I started riding with people in the biking community, and one thing after another happened, and just my background in programming, it helped present the opportunity for Eastside Bike Club to collaborate with me, and I've joined them with this project.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, you guys both started doing it more for fun, and then it just became like your job, and you still enjoy doing it. So that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I was definitely biking religiously even before I was on a payroll of any organization.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of your job and a part that's tough sometimes?
People and people. I like to see people, especially when they try biking out for the first time as, transportation or enjoyment, they like it more than they want to. I like to see people happy. I like to see people be involved in things I make happen. And then on the other side, people can be difficult.
Yeah.
What about you, Simon?
Oh, well, we're a service provider at Bike Share, and we've been doing this for 10 years. And one of the hardest things for us is when people make a lot of requests to say, I want bike share in my community. I want bike share in my neighborhood. And it is a larger capital expense and larger challenge than people, I think, at first initially think it is. There is so much cost associated to it, and we're always trying to find a way to say yes, but often we're disappointing our partners who say we can't at this time because there's just there's no one to underwrite the costs. So bike share has been greatly successful. It keeps getting record number of trips, but we have such a large number of folks who really do want an expansion of bike share, both in the number of months as well as the number of stations and the service area too. I currently live in a neighborhood that actually isn't, the closest bike share station to me is 1.5 miles. And so I think for a lot of folks, they want more, and it's hard when we don't have maybe all of the stakeholders in our community valuing as much as our users.
Yeah. So we're going to ask you a few questions to find out like what your programs do. So first, Harvey, for someone who's like brand new to the East Side Bike Club, how do your Saturday rides work?
Well, as we tell people, to become a member of the East Side Bike Club, you just show up and ride. That's the barrier of entry there. We meet at 9:30 at Martin Luther King Park at the bus, at the statue, and we have like a little talk, a little informational, what's going to be the theme ride, some safety, maybe point out a couple of new people who showed up, and just a lot of friendly talking, and then we go on our ride.
Yeah.
Well, can I just add, because I'm a person who loves joining the Eastside Bike Club rides, it's always, they come up with a new theme every Saturday, even though it has the same start and ending point, almost all the rides do. A lot of times they'll throw in themes like, we're going to go get donuts, we're going to get coffee, we're going to do this, we're going to learn about this, we're going to pop into this event. And honestly, it's a great space to like engage with a city that maybe you feel a little alone about, but you have a group of friends to help really kind of build your confidence and do things that are out of your comfort zone. So it's not just about biking, it's about literally learning more about your city. And honestly, I've always put it up to Eastside Bike Club for making something that's really tries to do something creative every goddamn Saturday.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh.
Harvey, when did the e-bike library start? What problem were you solving, and how does borrowing a bike work from start to finish?
Okay, we started in May. That was our official opening, I think the first week in May.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there for the opening of the e-bike library.
Oh. How did you I remember you. Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah.
There was a lot of challenges because we didn't have a blueprint. So we had to lean on some of our community partners, some of our cycling family, like
Ready Bike, Share Mobility Incorporated.
Yes. And other organizations that have done something similar to pull everything together. One of our biggest challenges was we had a fire at one of the locations that we originally was going to have it at. But we persevered, and I think we have a better site now, even though it's next door. But everything has been so far working out.
Yeah.
If I may also add on to the e-bike library, I think it's amazingly unique. It's honestly, up until a few years ago, no one knew what e-bike library was. It was kind of a new thing that kind of started out of nowhere. And Eastside Bike Club had, along with us, but a few other organizations, really try to push it forward and say people should have a low-cost access of trying out an e-bike, using it in their day-to-day life, seeing how it can change them. And their program is the biggest program, honestly, I've ever seen. Because it's difficult. I mean, how are you going to put the boundaries of like who can be loaned an e-bike and what is it going to be? What's going to be like? They do a safety workshop. You have to come to a safety workshop before you can actually get a bike, and then you have, I think it's up to 3 days to return the bike. This is huge because now people don't, to rent a bike, okay, for instance, at a local business, you're looking at maybe $80. For a lot of low-income folks, to rent an e-bike at a local bike shop, that's expensive. for Eastside Bike Club at the e-bike library, you have to spend, what, an hour-long class? And then how much money does it cost to actually get an e-bike?
$1 registration.
$1 registration. That's amazing. Meanwhile, a lot of folks come to us, too, and talk about, like, how can we lower the price of e-bike rentals in our bike share system, which is a self-service. You know, it's there when you need it, but there's no storefront, you know. And I've always pointed Eastside Bike Club. Listen, if you want to use it for the whole day, if you want to take that bike home with you, go to Eastside Bike Club, because you're not going to want to take home a bike share bike. You want to take home an e-bike library bike. And honestly, it's been wonderful having you guys start your program in May. Wonderful.
So, Simon, what is Ready Bike Share and how does shared mobility fit in?
Oh, well, so Ready Bike Share has been going, we're one of the longest bike share operators that are nonprofit based in the nation. We started in 2016 with partnership with Independent Health. We even, before then in 2012, started piloting bike share with GPS devices, and actually the first in the nation to pilot GPS devices on a bike share bike. So pretty far advanced back in 2012. Fast forward to 2025, we're now a bike share system of 520 bikes, 120 stations serving Niagara Falls, Buffalo, City of Tonawanda, because it's like an in-between point a lot of people go to, as well as University at Buffalo, North Campus. Because to be perfectly honest, a lot of college students use bike share. A lot of college students use bike share. It is a great low-cost means of getting around. And every year we get a record number of trips. In 2023, we launched our first fleet of pedal assist e-bikes. And those honestly have been getting an enormous amount of usage. About 1/5 of our system includes e-bikes. The rest are pedal bikes. We are proudly a hybrid system, and we always want to be a hybrid system because there are advantages and disadvantages of unlocking an e-bike versus a pedal bike.
Yeah. Simon, what's new this season? Like any new bikes or stations, and like how do you unlock a bike?
So that's great. So unlocking a bike is similar across most bike shares. There's about 100 bike shares, well, about 150 bike share systems across the nation, and almost all of them use a similar ways of unlocking bikes, which is using a smartphone device for the most part, scanning the QR code on the back, and that you can either download an app so you can unlock the bike or straightforward unlock the bike. So we always advise people, if you have a smartphone device, it's the easiest way to do it, because then you also know where all the e-bikes are, you know how much battery life they have left, you know, just you can see the landscape of what's around you. We also provide a means for people to have a tap card who don't want to use a smartphone, who are very conscious about their data usage, and they can actually tap and unlock a bike. And we've had many people request tap cards. We still have them available. The thing that's new this year is that we are implementing our expanded footprint on the east side. We added 7 stations, 5 on the east side, and we're going to be doing another wave of new stations, as well as adding more e-bikes. Also, what's coming up very shortly is that we're adding what we're calling Ready Bike Share's first public art installation. We have 4 bikes that are it's called Project Pollination. We commissioned a group of artists to create 2 designs across 4 bikes that theme around pollination and florals. And the idea is that we want to bring beauty to as many bike share stations as possible on the east side. And that'll actually get started launch next week, the 3rd week of August. And we're excited about that because it sparks more excitement for folks who are maybe more artistically inclined, but maybe haven't really thought bike share was for them.
Yeah, you mentioned the tap cards. How do you get a tap card?
Well, that's a great question because we have a link in our a button on our website for people to request a tap card. It'll have to get mailed to you. They are like this, and you can just tap it on the back of near the QR code, and it'll unlock. But you first have to create an account and then make a request for a tap card.
Okay.
What's the difference in between an e-bike and a regular bike, and how does riding one feel?
Well, the difference between an e-bike and a regular bike, it's an e-bike is just like a regular bike. In most instances, it pedals, but it have either electric or throttle assist or both. Electric assist, you can turn it on and it will assist you on different levels that you program it at to make yours pedaling easy. So say you have it on the first power assist, your one revolution of pedal might get added a half a pedal to it, and so on and so on and so on. So people think using an e-bike is cheating. It's not cheating. You're just getting there a lot faster, and you can go more places than you could with just a regular bike.
If I could just say the cheating thing is like a huge thing that was like, honestly, a couple of years ago, that was something you would hear a lot more. It's a lot less. And I will say the one big reason why is because people appreciate having their mother, their daughter, their cousin, whoever, family member, friend, keep up with them biking. Like it's been tough when Eastside Bike Club started doing Saturday rides. This was way before e-bikes became more widespread. We would have a struggle. I would lead some of these rides, and we would have a struggle keeping everyone together. A struggle because people would be, oh no, she's falling behind. She's falling behind. Everyone got to stop the ride. Stop the ride. Nowadays, we have a solution. You know what? You can stay with the group. You don't need to feel guilty. Here's a pedal assist e-bike, so you can still get your exercise, and you don't need to worry about keeping up with us because we can kind of all consistently keep at like a 10, 12, 13, 15 mile per hour speed.
Right. I use a regular bike for recreation. I use an e-bike to get to work. One advantage, I can use the one I use for work has a throttle. I can throttle up to 15, 20 miles per hour and then use the power assist to continue at 15, 20 miles per hour. That prevents me from breaking a sweat, and I don't have to work all sweaty, but yet I got a workout.
The question with the e-bikes is when you said that it, like, people considered it cheating, but like if you're not pedaling the bike, it doesn't move, correct? Like it just gives you a
There's different types of e-bikes. There's a class 1, class 2, class 3 e-bike. The ones that they have and we have, Eastside Bike Club, are class 1s because they are pedal assist only.
Okay.
So you have to pedal to make
to-
it move, and then you get some assist with it. Or if you don't want to use the assist, often like what I do, if I ride one during our rides, I don't power it on.
Yeah.
Right.
Final question. If you're pedaling the thing like faster, does it make it go faster with the boost? Like, does the boost go more, or is it like?
That's a great question because there's also a lot to unpack about e-bikes. There's two kinds of e-bikes, two kinds of electric assist. There's cadence and there's torque. The big difference between those two is that cadence will, like, it's more consistent. If you're pedaling, it's going to try to get you to the max, just whatever you're doing. Torque, it's an e-bike. I have a e-bike with torque sense, and the harder I'm pushing, it senses it, and it's going to meet me at where I am. And usually that is the bigger reason torque is more expensive, but it also conserves a battery longer. Cadence is cheaper and doesn't conserve. It will use the battery up quicker. There are friends who have a disability who it's inconsistent. They sometimes want the torque because it gives them more of an exercise, but then they will actually switch their e-bike to cadence because they're in pain. And so it helps them better. And then sometimes if they're super in pain, they're going to go to when it's not pedal assist, it's throttle. They'll just throttle it because they're in pain. And so really, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. People can, meet them at the moment.
Yes.
Really quick, one question for the both of you. How long do your users typically ride your bikes for?
We had a person, and this person became a success story. She would, every 3 days, she would but check out a new bike. So she would switch it in and get a fresh bike that's already charged up. So once the vouchers became for $650, the Ready Share, they became available, she bought a bike. And that's part of the model that we have. We want people to use Eastside e-bikes to try it out, or if they're gonna have limited use, just have the limited use. But they can try it out, see what they like. If this is something for them, then they can make that $1,200, $1,500 or $800 investment into an e-bike.
That honestly is such a common thread story. And even bike share, we have a lot of people who, I was just talking to one of our users who's logged in total since 2017, 3,800 miles. And I've always said to her, just today, I was like, so when are you going to buy a bike? You know, and she says, well, I just don't have the space to even store it, nor do I she's like, I'm fine with using bike share. And some people, that's where they are. They're like, they want to live a little bit minimalist. And I think for them, that's great. For other people, they want to, test the waters before making a huge expense. And it's great that we've been working together on the rebate project. So we're one of the first in the state to launch a discount program voucher. So people can go to a local bike shop, and instead of spending $1,200, they're spending half of that on getting an e-bike, which has been huge. And honestly, at that point, they can stop bothering you then, and then they can stop bothering us maybe, and they can get around town more independently.
Yes. Even people I know that has invested in their own e-bike, they'll tell me, hey, when I'm by myself, I ride my e-bike. Instead of putting premium gas in my car and just, and they're actually saving money.
So now we're going to ask you a few questions about access and equity to the east side. So first up, how are you making riding affordable for families and youth? Any discounts, passes, or free options people should know?
Well, for Eastside, it's simple. We reduced the usage to $1. That's for just rent. And there's reasons that we charge you $1 so that you have more stake in getting a bike, and we can verify who you are. And being on the east side in a location that's very accessible.
And our we received this grant to expand the footprint of bike share, add more e-bikes. On top of that, our partner, Independent Health, said we need to also lower the cost of bike share for people who live on the east side, this target population. And we're especially proud that when we started this project, we launched a new pass program called Eastside Forward, and anyone can sign up for who lives on an Eastside zip code for $3 a year. So normally it's $40 a year to get discount usage. It's $3 this time around. It's $3 for folks who live on the east side. And what that does, it allows them to think less about the money and more about their options. For folks we have so many people who live on the east side currently who report east side zip codes who are still paying what the same as like a tourist would pay, called pay-as-you-go. And that's like 25 cents a minute for an e-bike. And they could go as low as 10 cents. And then they also could earn rider credits, so they're paying nothing, honestly. There's so many options for people to almost pay nothing, but it's getting the word out that these programs are available.
What do you offer for different ability needs?
That's tough, because when you dealing with especially disabilities, it's so everyone disability manifests differently. So you have to be an expert in that field and offer specialized equipment to accommodate those who have those needs.
With bike share, this is the hardest part. So there's some bike shares that have earned grants through partnerships and stuff to do more adaptive style programs. But the problem with that is that it's not self-service, and bike sharing itself is a self-service where it's like you don't need people around, you don't need a storefront, the bikes are available, people can use them when they need it. It's already, our bikes are designed to be accommodating for lots of body types, lots of heights. They're step-through frames. There's a lot of things that have to go into putting a bike share bike together. And it doesn't fit every niche that needs, it doesn't fit everyone's needs, no doubt about it. And I think that's why we're also looking at the e-bike rebate program to help fill that, because truthfully, a lot of people are looking maybe for a recumbent bike to fill their needs. And honestly, I will say this too, e-bikes in itself helps meet so many people with disabilities. I've had many friends who cannot drive a car, but they can use an e-bike. And honestly, it's granted them so much independence because of that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I myself, I had knee surgery in January, and first couple of months of rehab, I had to use a e-bike.
Also, really quick, one question. Can kids use e-bikes?
No. New York State, in New York State, you have to be 16 years old to use an e-bike. What people don't understand is that bicycles are vehicles also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and for Bike Share itself, because we insure the vehicles, you have to be adult who can sign away your ability to use it. Of course, there are kids who use e-bikes, no doubt about it. We're not living in a fantasy world. I think a lot of kids are looking for more sources of independence, and e-bikes have granted them, but we also need to think about the land use, because like truthfully, like when I was a kid, I would walk and bike around, because I could get to my needs where I needed to. And I think we need not just penalize kids, we need to actually solve the core issues.
What's a favorite success story where someone's life got easier because of your program?
Well, I shared with you earlier where a woman was, every 3 days, she was checking out an e-bike. And with using the different programs that's out there now, it changed this person's life with getting an e-bike. And actually, I met this person's mother. Her mother knew about me and knew who I was, and she wasn't around. And she told me how she's going to get an e-bike now, and her other daughter is going to get an e-bike just from that one person.
Yeah. I will say this, because I'm not going to do any justice about the person just Google search Mike Nogel. Local TV stations have already done things about his transformation. He, a father of two, his wife is amazing as well, but he started learning about bike share a couple of years ago, and when he saw his wife logging so many miles and winning points and awards through, we had like a leaderboard challenge of who can log the most miles, he said, I can do that. And not only did he do it, he actually currently now has the most miles in the system ever. He currently has over 4,000 miles since he started using Bike Share 2 years ago. And 500 of those were logged while hauling a kayak, and then another 300 were hauling pizza. He'll do all these creative things. And he's lost, I think he's fine with me saying this, he's lost more than 50 pounds. He's become so much more social and healthier. And he's gotten his kids to bike more too. It's one of those things where it's like, he's passing on like these healthy habits to his family. And I look at that and I'm like, I don't even can't even vision like someone taking bike share and making it such a great feature of their life,
And see, the person he was referring to, he's known in the biking community as Ready Bike Mike.
Yes, Ready Bike. Oh, okay. I did not coin that. Someone else did. It's someone else.
On the east side, which stations or services make it easier to reach schools, jobs, and parks?
Which stations make it easier to reach schools, jobs, and parks?
Yep.
So we currently have 20 bike share stations. And, I will say this. I think looking at the stats of all the usage we've seen since, we launched this grant project, Clean Mobility Buffalo, 2 years ago, Northland, the bike share station there has really seen the biggest uptick. And from our research, it's a lot of times it's people who are going to Northland. So it's not necessarily they're picking up the bikes there, but they're going there, and then they're maybe returning. And I I think it's great to see people using active transportation as a way of getting to a class for sure.
Harvey, how do club rides and trainings build confidence and community in the East Side?
The group rides helps people, especially beginner riders, to build confidence of riding on the road. As we ride, you kind of pick up a sense of what other people are doing who are experienced riders. So that's the best way to pick up experience and build your confidence to ride alone or on the streets is by riding in group rides with those who are experienced.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, guys. Doing group rides has done so much because if you get a flat, if you get something wrong, you have a community around you who can problem solve the issues. Also, like, I mean, I'm not even joking with you. The seat post height is like one of those transformations where you've been biking for years, but you always kept the seat post so low, and you're always wondering, why am I getting so tired? And then your friend just like, well, I think your seat post is too low, and they encourage you just to raise it up a little bit, and then raise it up a little bit, and then soon enough, you realize you're not even able to touch your feet to the ground while your seat's in the saddle,
Right.
And you're like, wow, my legs feel more, and you actually learn that you can be more comfortable, reduce your pain, increase your endurance. Group rides has done a lot to honestly bring healthier habits of biking.
So for the group rides, everyone will just like help each other when
Yes.
there's any
Yes,
sort of issues.
you learn different things from people, and you pass on best practices with each other.
But what if you're not like a really good bike rider? Like if you're not great at bike riding, will people around you help around? Like,
Yes.
Everyone starts as a bad bike rider, I will
Yes.
say. Everyone.
Yes.
yeah.
Even when I thought I was a good bike rider until I got certified by the League of American Bicyclists as a cycling instructor, I became a better bike rider because it made me aware of so many things. And these processes run in my mind as I lead a group of 100 people.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you guys about the future in youth power and how to help. So magic one time. What would you change or add next to the biking and bike share in Buffalo?
I would encourage schools to include biking in their curriculum, in their gym curriculum, and also to add access for kids to ride their bike to school. Often I see a lot of walkers walking to school when they can be riding their bikes to school.
You know, and I think it comes down to land use and infrastructure a lot. People will not bike if they have to, be sandwiched between a traveling car and a parked car, and people get afraid, they get scared, and you're only gonna get the people like me biking in those bike lanes. I always hear from people like, why aren't anyone using those bike lanes? We need better bike lanes, and better bike lanes means buffers, protected bike lanes, just more space to protect lives. And it'll go a long way, particularly for people who are young and honestly don't want to bother their mom and dad to give them a ride everywhere.
Yeah.
Often drivers talk about bike lanes and taking up the road, but actually bike lanes make it safer for drivers and pedestrians because it slows down traffic.
Yes.
And people still drive in the bike lanes, which makes it even more unsafe.
Or they park in the bike lanes,
Yeah.
which creates problems later too.
Yeah.
How can young people get involved, like ambassadors, giving feedback, school projects, volunteering?
Well, youth can get together and maybe get with a teacher or a PTA member and start a grassroots movement that will revolve around cycling. Also, there's also an aspect of cycling that can be it can be adapted to STEM, to science, and there are some STEM programs that revolves around cycling.
Yeah, I will say a lot of my time is dedicated to college age students or people above 18, not often below 18, but even still, there are great ways of I know Buff State recently started like a club for bicyclists, Bengals and bikes and stuff like that. And I think like that kind of organizational skills is like amazing because again, once you have other people who bike, you're going to feel more empowered to also test your limits and bike as well.
Also, Eastside Bike Club, I almost forgot, we have a Earn a Bike program where kids can go on Thursdays or Sundays and you can pick out a bike to refurbish and you can learn how to fix your own bike or put your bike together. The biggest reason why kids don't ride a bike that they already have is because they have a flat tire and don't know how to fix it.
If a listener wants to join, borrow, or sign up today for a bike, what's the easiest first step?
I mean, it's going to be on the web, but honestly, for us, a lot of times you can just literally go to a bike share station, go up to a bike, scan the QR code, and you can sign up for one of our pass programs. But for our discount pass programs, you go to our website where you'll find links to sign up for the discounts.
For Eastside Bike Club, the easiest way is to either go to our Eastside Bike Club Facebook page or our website, eastsidebikeclub.org, and you can register to become a member and take your class from there.
All right, finally we're going to do a lightning round, which is where we'll just quickly ask you really short questions, and you answer in 1 to 2 words.
Oof, challenge.
So, e-bike or pedal bike for a short trip?
Pedal bike.
Favorite Buffalo route or trail?
I actually like Delaware Avenue. Shockingly, I think it gets me far where I need to go.
Favorite trail, Robert Moses Parkway.
Best post-ride snack?
Protein shake.
Blueberries, actually. I love eating blueberries. It's a good way of getting my energy back.
One myth about e-bikes that you want to bust?
It's not cheating.
Your e-bike shouldn't actually go anything beyond 25 miles per hour, legally speaking.
Dream place you love to ride?
Everywhere.
I like my personal is the Tonawanda Rail Trail going to North Tonawanda. A rail trail is flat, really protected, and shaded, which is nice. The sun can also harm you as well.
I want to change my answers to his.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where should people go to learn more? Join Eastside Bike Club, borrow from the e-bike library, or sign up for Ready?
For Eastside Bike Club, if you want to join the e-bike, it's the website. If you want to just join us with a regular Saturday ride, just show up on Saturday at 9:30 and come join us, and you'll feel like family.
Yeah. And I will say this, so a lot of times, readybikeshare.com, we have all the information there, but we do programs with Slow Roll, Buffalo, as well as Go Bike, a monthly camp coffee ride on one Sunday every month, as well as every Monday ride. I'm at Slow Roll, and I always help people who's for their first time using bike share sign up, unlock a bike, help them with any issues they're having. So I would say if you're not much of a person who wants to spend your time on a website, show up to a Slow Roll or a Go Bike event, or even Eastside Bike Club event, but I will say Saturdays aren't always the most available time either for me.
So, Harvey and Simon, thanks for joining us on Mobility Matters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
It's our pleasure.
Yes, great
Bye.
job.
Bye.
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 Thanks for riding along with us on Mobility Matters. We hope today's episode got you thinking about how we can all move toward a cleaner, fairer, and more connected Buffalo. This podcast is part of the Clean Mobility Buffalo initiative, made possible with support from NYSERDA, and powered by kids like us, who believe our voices and choices can shape the future. Got ideas, stories, or questions? Share them with us. We'd love to hear them. Until next time, keep moving forward, because when it comes to our future, mobility matters.